about you being gone is I can watch the game all day long, and I can stretch my legs out in the bed, extra pillow underneath my head. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside of lonely. I got a lot more room for my stuff, and I only have to wash one cup. I can stay up late and play my guitar, and the groceries go twice as far. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside of lonely. Your girlfriends ain't ringing the phone off the wall. I never have to hear from that mother-in-law. Ain't cut the grass since the middle of June. I smoke a big cigar up in my living room. Don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside of lonely. Dirty clothes right on the floor. Let the trash pile up right by the door. Eat pizza and ice cream 3 times a day, 'cause I ain't worried about watching my weight. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside of lonely. Yeah, man, just think about all the good things about you being gone. Stretch out here at home. Hey, man, come on in. Don't mind the muddy shoes on the white carpet. She ain't here. You hungry? Hey, man, I got some food if you want to eat. I got a microwave oven with little pictures on the front of it. Just pick what you want to eat and push the button, and it will cook it for you. Yeah, man, you can smoke that cigar up here in the kitchen. Just use that vase over there. Need something to drink? We got beer, bourbon, whiskey, scotch, Diet Coke, Fanta. Yeah, man, I bet you've been on the road for a minute. Bathroom's right down the hall. Switches on the left, doors on the right. Just remember to leave the lid up. Leave it up. Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday Night Live Facebook here with myself and, of course, Ellington joining us here this afternoon. It's a family affair. We've got Ellington on the show, and we're also going to have MISSONI on a little bit later. So I thought I'd start off with a nice tune, Cole Porter. I've got you under my skin. I have got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I have tried not to give in. I said to myself, this affair, it never should go so well. But why should I try to resist when, honey, I know so well? Because I've got you under my skin. I would sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near. In spite of a warning voice, comes in the night and repeats, it yells in my ear, don't you know, you fool, there's no chance to win. Use your mentality, come back to reality. And each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin. Because I've got you under my skin. Sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near. In spite of a warning voice, comes in the night, it repeats, it yells in my ear, don't you know, you fool, there's no chance to win. Use your mentality, step up to reality. And each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop just before I begin. Because I've got you, you're under my skin. grab me. You're under my skin. I need a dermatologist because you're under my skin. It's a true story, folks. Anyway, welcome to Wednesday night. I want to say hi to everybody out there. Patty Payne, love you too, Patty Payne. Sure good to hear from you. One of the great legends out of the Northwest. And our pal Leo Vigil, who was on just a couple weeks ago, drummer extraordinaire. Good to hear from you, Leo. And of course, our pal Georgie Aiden up there with Reefer Madness and Gail and Johnny and everybody up there at the Vertigo Club. Good to hear from you guys. And all our pals up at, at the Churchill Room. I did not mean to say that. The Churchill Room, Johnny and Gail. And from the Vertigo Room, we've got also Naboisha and all our other pals from over there, John Ohm, Mike Shimazaki, John Connors. Good to hear from you, John Connors. Stay away. And who else we got out there we're looking at these days? Janice Mann's out there. Janice, good to hear from you, sweetheart. We're going to have Janice Mann next week, one of the great female vocalists on the West Coast. And she'll be joining us next week as one of our special guests. What else we got to talk about? Well, first things first, our tip jar right here. Please check us out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. Anything you can do to help out Vivify Studios here and lovely Rancho Mirage. I can tell you, just keeping this room cool this time of year is a fortune. It's been hot. It was 122 here last week, folks. That's 8 degrees off of like the hottest temperature recorded on Earth, which was 130 over just a few miles north of us in lovely Death Valley. And on the other side over here, our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. We are looking for more subscriptions out there. More subscriptions we get, the more we can move ourselves onto the YouTube channel and be able to go from both. So we hope you guys will check that out as well. What other kind of news do I have to talk about here? Big shout out to all our pals over at Mirage Cigar, whether they're watching or not. And of course, Benedetto Guitars. What can I say? What can I do? What can I play? It's just great to have everybody out there. Ellen Baccio, good to see you out there, Ellen. Carol and Michael, wow, what a great crowd this week. Also, James Bragg, my buddy James is out there. It is Noel's birthday this week. Happy birthday, Noel. Hope you have a good time this week. And even more so, I shouldn't say more so, but just as much, MISSONI and I have some dear friends up in Seattle. Naboisha and Morgana are getting married this Saturday. And unfortunately, we can't be there, but I thought we could at least do a song for you guys. So this goes out to Naboisha and Morgana. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is over before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seems to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And from the moment that I feel that you feel that way too, when I'll fall in love with you. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And from the moment that I you feel that way too. That's when I'll give my heart. That's when I'll give you my heart. That's when I'll fall in love with you. Anyway, it goes out to Naboisha and Morgana. I hope you guys have a wonderful wedding. We'll be thinking about you this weekend. Oh my God. Dick Porter, look at you out there. Even learning how to spell. I love it, Dick. That is like my second father from my third grandmother right there, Dick Porter up in Sun Valley, Idaho. Man, we miss you, brother. Hope you're well. Hope everybody's good and well. So, I've got a wonderful list of things to talk about and people to look at and speak with and listen to and all sorts of different things. First off, we want to give out a big shout to all our first responders up all throughout the state of California, Oregon, and Washington that are fighting those fires. I know our hearts and our souls and our prayers are with you all. Thank you so much for all you do. It's terrible times up there, folks, and as I'm sure everybody knows, but we are all thinking of our first responders and everybody on the front lines. Some brave, the real heroes, some brave souls. Speaking of brave souls, my guest tonight is a brave soul coming on my show tonight, and I'm so happy to have him here. Marcus is, he's sort of a Renaissance kind of person. He simultaneously was on ABC's One Life to Live, as well as touring on Broadway, doing shows as Aspects of Love, King David, and he played the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. In fact, in 2012, he appeared and reprised his role at Her Majesty's Theatre in the West End, and he is only one of two. Michael Crawford's the only other Phantom that has played both on this side of the pond and the other. Beyond the pale, as they say. And he is also a fantastic voiceover personality. He was a voice for David Letterman's show for many, many years. And now he is the voice of Good Morning America. And this week with George Stephanopoulos. I'm glad I said that before I smoked a cigar. Among many, many others. And it's my treat and honor to have with me my dear pal, Marcus LOVETT. So Marcus, come on in. Join us here, brother. I'm going to put on my headphones so I can hear thou. How are you?
Hey, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Dude, look at you. You're looking good over there. Got the tie, candle.
I don't want to make you feel jealous, but
Oh, it's a cruel, cruel world. Oh, yeah.
It's a temperate 76 degrees.
Now, you're on the West Coast right now, right? Or East Coast?
I am on the East Coast, yeah.
New York?
I am in an undisclosed location.
Gotcha.
No, I'm in New Jersey. I'm at my home in New Jersey.
Jersey.
Hey,
what are you smoking there, by the way?
I am smoking a Plasencia.
Oh, yes. From Davidoff.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I've got an
Avo. What do you got?
Avo 2020 Improvisation. I thought it'd be it's a very apt cigar for today's show.
Well, and I just want to, you're a Benedetto cigar guy. My voice is sponsored by Plasencia.
Really?
Yeah, I just wanted you to know that.
Dude. I'm glad we clarified that straight up front. You are one lucky man. That's all I can tell you. So, listen, Marcus, I got a ton of questions. I guess the first one I wanted to ask you about is, what is it like playing an icon like the Phantom, especially here in America, as well as, I suppose, the Phantom's hometown of London, England?
Well, I'll tell you, I was very fortunate to get a call to do it at a young age on Broadway. I was 28, and I think one of the cool things is that I did it 20 years apart. So I did it when I have a picture of me and Dylan. You've met Dylan before.
Yes.
Singer, guitarist, and all-around great kid, 28 years old now. I got a picture of him in my arms, in 1993, so I got to play the role of the Phantom from the position of where the love triangle between Raoul and Christine is more fertile ground, because we're all around the same age, and then I got to play it again when I was 48, when my kids were grown. They came over to London. My daughter did her junior year. Catherine did her junior year.
Right. I remember that.
It's really fun, the differentiation between playing it 20 years apart.
Wow, it's got to be. Yeah, I mean, just the fact of I suppose you probably view your character differently after 20 years, right?
Yeah, and I think that logically, I felt a lot more paternal toward Christine in 2012. Because they go younger and younger with some of these roles. They find these wonderful sopranos, and I was playing sometimes with a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, and it was nice to explore it from that place. And as far as like this part, this is a guy who, for most of the show, thinks of himself as Rudy Valentino,
Yeah, right.
So what's it like playing a guy? He's got like one scene at the end where he's revealed. So it's really just this guy with a deformity who gets to act like he doesn't have one for a while, which is fun.
It's very fun. Hey, listen, can you hang with us for a little bit? I've got a couple of videos that we did this week that I'd love to show our folks.
Sure, I'll hang out.
Wonderful. So, yes, please smoke. This next video this first video that we have has Marcus, myself, our dear pal Terry Miller, and Andy Fraga Jr. on drums. And we are playing a John Williams composition from the movie Sabrina called In the Moonlight. So give it a listen. Go boys, 3, 4.
In the moonlight, when the shadows play, when the thought of what could happen takes your breath away, sighs and whispers, quiet laughter in the air, unspoken invitations everywhere. In the moonlight, all the words you say make it relatively easy to be swept away in the half light
we trust the way we feel? Can we be sure that anything is real? Stars keep secrets as they wander in discreetly, while the echoes of a song go drifting by. We must be certain not to lose our way completely, for the magic that we see here, we can't be sure we'll be here in the morning with the moon away, and if in each other's arms is where we're meant to stay, in the love light, when our eyes have grown accustomed to the daylight, we'll see what waits for us to share, for all the things we've dreamed of in the moonlight will be there. Stars keep secrets as they wander in discreetly, while the echoes of a song go drifting by. We must be certain not to lose our way completely, for the magic that we see here, we can't be sure we'll be here in the morning with the moon away, and if in each other's arms is where we're meant to stay, in the love light, when our eyes have grown accustomed to the daylight, we'll see what waits for us to share, for all the things we've dreamed of in the moonlight will be.
Beautiful, beautiful, Marcus. That's gorgeous.
And you, my friend.
What a great tune.
Yeah.
Hey, Ross Gualco's out there. Ross says hi. And
Hey,
of course,
Ross.
Norris and Ellen. Good to see you
Of
guys.
course. Wonderful.
You know our pal Norris.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sure.
so listen, tell me about how you got your start. I know you're a graduate of Carnegie Mellon University, but did you have music before that, or did it happen in college? Where did it happen for you?
Well, when I was 11, I saw da na 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 na, and I didn't know that Rob Petrie was a musical theater star. I just saw him tumble over the ottoman,
Yeah.
you know, and I went, I can do that.
So
And
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke, yeah, I just
Wow.
thought, yeah, I could do that. And everybody's the huge relief that I felt is from 11. People would say, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to do that." I'm going to be on Broadway. I would say I'm going to be on Broadway since I'm 11 years old. Meanwhile, I don't even know, like, I think Broadway's just a street.
It is in most towns. It is, right? In Seattle, it was a really nasty street actually for a while.
So it's the avocation that becomes the vocation. And I had a lot of fun in high school doing various things, debate, speech, different kinds of things with my voice. And then I got into Carnegie Mellon University. I got rejected from Juilliard. I decided it would be very smart
Shame on them.
to sing a song from the musical Two Gentlemen of Verona for Michael Kahn, who was the head of Juilliard at the time. And man, now I look back and I go, oh my God.
What was I thinking? Yeah.
Juilliard audition, So I think I still have my rejection letter somewhere. So I ended
Frame
up
it.
at
Yeah, that's what's working.
Yeah. Well, the whole wall would be full. So I went to Carnegie Mellon, and I got to play. We had these three really handsome guys in my class: James Shanta, Kevin Black, Michael Hartson. I'm sorry for you other handsome guys that I'm not naming, but they got a lot of the lead male roles in things. So I was playing roles like Nicely Johnson. And, I was playing a lot of supporting characters in farces and in musicals and stuff like that. And I just had a grand old time, man, getting to and then I did a show called, we had the Pittsburgh Public Theater put on the first production of Sunday in the Park with George after my senior year of college. And I got to play George. And it was the first production that they allowed out after Broadway.
Wow.
So, I basically went on and tried to do a Mandy Patinkin imitation, because I was such a big fan and he played George. So I was like, how it feels. You know exactly how it feels. What? When I cannot give you words, not the ones you need.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm just a snot-nosed kid, thinking, you get lead roles when you're 21. And then I got to New York, and I quit the business 1 month in. I got to New York September 1st, 1986. Drove up from Pittsburgh, and I had an audition for a little show called Les Mis on the 27th of September, and they told me I would hear by the 30th of September, and they didn't call. So I told my mom I was quitting the business. I said,
wow.
I've been in New York a month. There's no chance. There's no shot, and then the next day I got the call. So I got to do, I was the confidant to the spear carrier, mind you. It was a very, 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 very important role. But it was fun. We did the Tonys,
Yeah.
and there I am in New York for less than a year, and I'm on the Tonys with our cast. It was wonderful.
Les Mis. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So, and then, I was unemployed, employed, unemployed, and it's been that way ever since.
I resemble that remark. Hey, listen, Ken Miller says hi. All kinds of pals there. Yeah, Bob Lamson, Liz. Hey, let's do another video here. We got a beautiful tune. I just love the way you sing this song. Written by one of my favorite composers, Hoagy Carmichael. And it is called I Get Along Without You Very Well. Give it a listen, folks. Here you go, Marcus.
get along without you very well. Of course I do. Except when soft rains fall and drip from leaves that I recall. The thrill of being sheltered in your arms. Of course I do. But I get along without you very well. I've forgotten you just like I should. Of course I have, except to hear your name or someone's laugh that's just the same. But I've forgotten you just like I should. What a guy. What a fool am I to think my breaking heart could kid the moon. What's in store? Should I fall once more? No, it's best that I stick to my tune. I get along without you very well, except perhaps in spring. So I must never think of spring, for that would surely break my heart in two. What a guy. What a fool am I to think my breaking heart could kid the moon. What's in store? Should I fall once more? No, it's best that I stick to my tune. I get along without you very well, except perhaps in spring. But I should never think of spring, for that would surely break my heart in two.
Beautiful, Marcus. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, and you, my friend. You know, I love, Chet Baker, of course. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Sings a crap out of that, and one of the things and actually, it's one of the things I love about your work. Although, you and Chet are, apples from a different tree, perhaps.
Yeah.
But is that that he took the masculine side of the stories and he didn't over emote on the songs, but they were hard-lived, experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, teardrops, and it was just like a man trying to deal with his stuff,
As we do, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we got all kinds of folks. Bobby Sky out there. Bob, good to hear from you. Henry
Hey,
Kaiser.
Bob.
Henry, how are you, man? Yeah, Bob.
Play some guitar.
Bob Sky. And Rena, the Kramers, they're talking about Broadway. So on Broadway, Marcus, in Seattle, it was the artsy fartsy street. In fact, I went to high school and college up there, and Rena put Dix's on Broadway. And I just wanted to clarify for those of you out there that didn't come from Seattle, Dick's Drive-In. Dick's Drive-In is the local drive-in there, and it was one of our favorite places to go have hamburgers and the greasiest fries you ever had. They're delicious. Sort of like Seattle's In-N-Out.
Okay. I'll have to try it.
So anyway, getting back to our show, I'd like to talk about your voiceover career, because you were the voice for what's his name and who's his face? Dave Letterman. You were Dave Letterman for years. And then now you're with Good Morning American and George Stephanopoulos. And they asked me to try to make that sound less like Stephanopoulos. Less?
And I'm like, that's his name. They say, it kind of sounds like Stephanopoulos. And I'm like, so what do you say?
How did you get into voiceovers? I mean, that is the coolest career, man. I mean, I always wanted to do voiceovers. I mean, who doesn't? It would be what a great life. Tell me how you got into it.
I got into it by, we have, like right now, we're keeping the lights on in a certain way. We're in this time. And you were saying the air conditioning alone, right? So I'm coming up, and really, I'm just grasping at straws. I went to a place and said, could I be a hand model? Like I walked in and they said, no, your finger twists this way, and your fingers are too short for your. I would do anything, I was just looking for a market, we had Dylan on the way, and I'm going like, man, I've done X number of jobs, and there's nothing in my pockets. So I actually, the fun story to me was I went to a bartending school, right? Just for a half hour, and it was like $1,200 to get in, and I'll get to the voiceovers, but I go in, it's on 7th Avenue and like 39th Street in the Garment District, and they have a fake bar set up, and this guy says, how would you serve this glass? Serve me a drink. And I go, okay. And I take the glass and I get, no. You never touch the top of the glass. For $1,200, you could be making $3-4 grand a week over at Marty's, And I'm going like, so I'm weighing whether to go to bartending school and drop money that I don't have.
Right.
And then I got a call out of the blue from a friend of a friend who had just become an agent and said, hey, man, I've always liked your singing. Do you do voiceovers? And I'm like, no. And he said, come on in. I want to coach you up. So he coached me up. And I remember the first commercial I did was for Centrum Vitamins in 1992. And they run this clock. And for those of you who don't know, the clock is drop frames. So it's 29 frames a second. So I finished the read. It's a 15-second spot, and it's 13.49. No, it's 13.13. So it's 13 frames. And they said, can you shave 4 frames? And I laughed. And they said, no, really. And I was like, shit. So I did it again, and I shaved 4 frames. So it's 13.9. I did it again, 13.9, 13.9, 13.9. And I realized that, the music education for what it is, the acting education, like I had a clock, I could speed it up, slow it down. And then it's just like, it wasn't gangbusters right away. It's like anything. I was told that if you want to be a voiceover, you should be ready to put 7 years of your time in before you make a living, and these were smart people. I just went, okay. So I had a pager, and if they put 911, it meant that I had a session. And I would go to a payphone and call them and say, where do I need to go? And it took off from there. And then I happened to get Phantom of the Opera right after I started voiceovers. So I was able to invite friends and in the advertising.
Oh yeah.
To see me play a really cool role in a show, and
leverage some stuff a little bit.
But it was really just to keep the lights on. I did not think I could do it. It's one of those businesses like the recording business has always been. How do I do it anyway? You can't do it. Nobody can do it unless you're 14 and 6 foot tall and 118 pounds and whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out how to do it. So it really was the birth of my son, Dylan, that got me into like, I better pay attention.
Right.
And then I just got a lot of cool things, a lot of cool people around, a lot of good mentors in the voiceover world, in the union world. It's a very support, just like this, we're never rooting against each other.
That's really cool.
Job. And if we start rooting against each other, there's no room for that, So I got a lot of help, and I've been doing it since '92.
God, that's fantastic. Now with Good Morning America, are you doing it every day? Do you have certain spots you got to do every day, or
I have
run them together?
Everything has been remote in my business for a long time. So in some aspects, in that part of the business, so I can, I'm still available within 20 or 30 minutes for anybody who wants me to do a voiceover. And, sometimes do you hear the crickets? I actually have crickets in the background. Can you hear those?
We can hear them.
Yeah, that's what it's like a lot of the time. But you're also in that enviable position of the next call could be a job that lasts for a couple of years.
Right.
Right. So, you're just going like, I have the studio, I have the this, I have the that. And, I still work for Good Morning America. I don't record every day because I do the show open from ABC News live in Times Square. This is Good Morning America.
Yeah, I love it.
The other one, ABC News. This week with George Stephanopoulos right now. Now, I'm doing a little bit of a parody of the voice.
Sure. But I love it.
The last little anecdote I'll tell you about voiceovers was I went to my kid's school. I think it was Vance, my middle child, when he was in the 3rd grade, to sing songs. And I brought tracks from a record because it was just like 100 kids on a gym floor. Mm-hmm. And it was just like almost every other time you sing, where it's like they were having cocktails, and talking to each other and, throwing shit at each other, Yeah. And then they said, who do you know in the business? And I said, well, I do Tonight on The Late Show with David Letterman. And for the rest of the time, all I did were voiceovers.
I love it.
I had like 8 songs ready for these kids. And they were like, doing their own personal COVID test. And then I did voiceovers, and like these kids are like thronging to the stage, Yeah,
man. Showbiz, baby. Showbiz. I love it. Marcus, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us on a Wednesday evening, man, and smoking a cigar with me. And it warms my heart to see you and both see you and hear you. So thank you so much for doing this.
Every week. And for my friends, my 10 followers on Facebook that I put this up for, like Brian on YouTube, please. I mean, this guy, you don't get this quality of work from, let's put it this way. There's nobody like Brian. So it's not like you're going on to hear a top 40 station or a this or that. He takes every song, makes it his own. He hires the very best musicians. The very best musicians use him. You're getting a plethora of artistry in everything that Brian does. And, that's from the heart. That's not a voiceover, and let's keep this thing going. And I'm going to say,
Marcus.
tip jar. Thank
you,
the
Marcus.
man deserves it. That AC's going to cost $1,000 a month. Love
yeah, at least, yeah.
To
you too, brother. You too. Love you, man. Take care of yourself. Oh, my brother Marcus. It's so good to have him here on the show. Also, let's see. What else we got going here, folks? We have a very special guest with us right now. She just had a birthday last Friday, and we have finally talked her into coming on the show and making a little appearance here. We have the lovely MISSONI with us. Honey, can you come on with us here and do a little almost like we're gonna try to run this sort of like how we do our got to get rid of Marcus there. There she is. I guess I don't need this because I can hear you from here.
So awkward.
Anyway, but everybody, of course, we have lovely MISSONI here with us today on our show, and we've even got a video
Yeah,
to show you. You want to show the video first?
sure.
All right, so here's a beautiful video. Her singing one of my favorite songs, East of the Sun, with Terry Miller joining us and Andy Fraga Jr. on the drums. So listen to lovely MISSONI singing East of the Sun. Here we go, MISSONI.
East of the sun and west of the moon, we'll build a dream house of love, dear, near to sun in the day, no, near to the moon at night. We'll live in a lovely way, dear, living on love and pale moonlight. Forever a day, our love will not die, oh, we'll keep it that way. Up among the stars we'll find all the harmony alive to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west of the moon. Die, oh, we'll keep it that way. And up among the stars we'll find all the harmony alive to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. Oh, east of the sun and west of the moon, dear. Oh, east of the sun and west of the moon.
Beautiful, beautiful, honey. That's gorgeous. One of my favorite songs. So, oh, and there's our puppy. So we have the whole family in here. By the way, I want to talk about some of the stuff you're doing now. MISSONI just started a whole new project online called Movement Bottega. Tell us a little bit about it, honey.
It is a movement podcast, and I just had.
Probably got to speak up a little bit.
Oh, okay. It is a podcast that is focusing on the science of movement and movement professionals, and also an online practice for Pilates and movement and all of this little stuff.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So it's putting me on the spot.
That's what this show's all about, being put on the spot here.
Okay.
And I guess the question that's on everybody's minds, at least it's on my mind right now, is what are we going to do for dinner tonight, honey?
Ellington's cooking.
Ellington's cooking.
Yeah.
I love it. All right.
Yeah, you are.
He's like, what?
I am.
I am?
I'm cooking.
Cook whatever he wants to cook. And a boy. Well, listen, I cannot thank MISSONI enough for all the stuff she does, keeping us alive, keeping everything working here on our show here. It's a whole lot going on, and thank you so much, sweetheart, for doing this.
It's all Ellington.
It's all
But I
Ellington.
just push the buttons because he doesn't have opposable thumbs.
I love it. I love it. So, listen, next week we have with us, it's going to be another great week of Pack Stars. As I had mentioned earlier, the wonderful Janice Mann is going to join us. And also going to have the world's most recorded guitar player, the great Dean Parks, is going to be joining us. My pal Dean's going to be on TV and on our show next week. And kind of going through an absolute ridiculous career, something like 20,000 records he's on, recordings he's on. And then, of course, we're going to have a wonderful Janice with us with some great music. I want to give a big thanks out there, of course, to Terry Miller and Andy Fraga Jr. Those guys are always there for us and laying down the tracks as we need them. Big thanks to Benedetto Guitars. And, of course, a big shout out, thank you to our special guest this week, Marcus. So we're going to close this week up, folks. We're not quite done yet, but I'm going to take these headphones off because they're not doing much of anything for me right now. And I've been getting all sorts of requests for some Hawaiian music, so I thought I'd pull out the old Hawaiian guitar. Uh-oh, I went out of tune already. So hard to keep our instruments tuned here in the desert. It's like -3 -3% humidity. That's what I was trying to say. thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure that you register for our YouTube channel right here. Sign in and subscribe to it. And of course, if you have the chance, check out our PayPal over here for our tip jar. And as I always say, always appreciated, never expected. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week this week. I hope you guys are kind to each other. I hope that things go smoothly in your life and in your world. And remember, when things get you down or things are looking a little shaky, remember to keep it swinging.